morning, everybody. We're almost live, and it should be.
It is.
Okay, great. All right. I'm so excited about today's topic. It's very simply, what does sex therapy cost? Like, how much is it, the cost of it, which I'm going to answer in like 30 seconds. But what I want us to talk about is what it costs our clients not to come in. So the cost ranges depending on the therapist. For couples therapy, we don't take insurance. And you're looking at anywhere from $75 a session to $350 a session, depending on your therapist and your problem and all of that. And then you want to always, I think that you're going to be in therapy approximately 6 months, because change, new behaviors takes approximately 6 months to really get into your system. Okay, so that's the basic answer for anybody who wants to know how much does sex therapy costs. That's it. Now, what we're going to talk about today is, what have you guys seen it cost couples that don't come into therapy or who have waited years before they come in? And so that's what I want to talk about. So good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
All right. Who wants to go first? Like, who wants to?
I do.
Yeah. Okay, go, Jessica Renard. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Valentine's. Okay.
I think what I've seen it cost clients is a sense of confidence within themselves, with in connecting with their person, like connecting with their partner. I've seen, like, I have a couple that she was misdiagnosed with something that caused a lot of medication, which just killed her libido. And I don't know that a sex therapist could have caught that, but we could have still looked at what you could do to connect with your partner during those times, to where, like, she experienced some vaginal atrophy. And so it's like, okay, what can we do? Yeah. And, like, she's finding this new lease on life in her 50s, which is awesome. And they're amazing. But they're just like, oh my God, what do I do now? Like, I feel like I've missed all of this time. And I think, like, this is an important part of our personhood, our identity, unless you identify as asexual. And even if you do identify as asexual, having a therapist to kind of help sort that out and solidify that, I think would be super helpful as well. And so it's one of those things that I think it's a lot of time and confidence more than anything else. That's
so right. Okay. All right. Who wants to jump in? All right, Taj, and you're on mute, so unmute yourself. And good morning.
Good morning. I'm just going to say something very simple. It costs you orgasms. It costs you pleasure. It costs you fun. I don't know. Yeah. But it does. If you know that there's a problem, just like if there's a problem in any other area of your life, if there's something that you want to improve, even if it's not necessarily a problem, it's something that you want to improve, then why not seek out the specific help in this niche market that we're in, this niche area that we specialize in, the same way you would if there was an issue with your car, there was an issue with your home. You're not going to call a plumber if there's an issue with your oven. So you cost yourself just the fullness of the experience. You cost yourself the opportunity to improve. That's what I would say. Especially because sex is still, which is so strange to me, but still so taboo to have an open conversation about and to openly ask for help. It's still so clouded by shame and guilt and judgment that, like, some people are definitely calling plumbers to fix their oven just because of all of that. So it delays actual progress. It costs you the experience of a full sex life. It just, yeah.
Okay. All right. Amanda, go. Wait, are you muted? Okay.
I'm not muted.
You're having a fabulous hair day. I hate that you don't feel good. Could you
happy Valentine's Day. I had to bring it for Valentine's Day. So when we're not having sex, that indicates stresses or other dysfunction in our relationship. And I would say the longer we delay that, not only are we not having sex or orgasms, we're letting that stress leak out into every other part of our life, not just our relationship with our partner or partners, but buildup of stress can cause anxiety. It can, being misfocused and where your energy could be. You might be missing out on work. You might be missing out on financial, like good decision making. So, I think by not addressing the underlying stress that sex might be causing in your relationship, you could be, and I think you probably are letting it leak out in other places, which why do that? When we can help.
Right. Excellent. Okay. All y'all set me up to talk about all the things I want to talk about. I think in some relationships, it's costing you pain. Like you are paying in arguments. You in some relationships, it's costing you harmony and peace. Some of you guys is costing you sleep because you don't want to go to the bedroom because you're scared that your partner's still awake. So you're downstairs piddling around trying to stay awake long enough for your partner to go to sleep so you don't have to address the issue that night. Some of you guys, it's costing you closeness because you're scared if you touch your sorry, Lord Jesus, sorry. If you touch your partner, like I never want that to come out of my mouth. But if you touch your partner, that they're going to want sex from you. And so now you're scared to even get a hug. You're scared to get any type of comfort whatsoever, even warmth, like I'm cold, hug me, because you're scared that it's going to go into a request for sex or conversation for sex. And so it's costing yourself closeness. I think I think that was excellent because some of you guys, it's costing you and maybe your partner some self-confidence, some self-esteem that's coming in there. I've heard people say, like, my partner must not want me, so I've gotten old and ugly, my partner, because we're not having sex anymore. A lot of men identify with having sex and feeling more like a man and less sex and feeling less like a man, which of course we as therapists argue against all the time. But some of you guys are out there and it's costing you your manhood or it's costing your partner his manhood. And so I think the costs go on and on and on and on as the different ways that not coming in to see a sex, like, it hurts me so bad sometimes when I have clients who come in and they've been dealing with the problem for like 5 years, 6 years. And I'm like, oh God, we could have fixed this. Like, this isn't major. Like, this is, I don't know, an equivalent to like somebody walking around with a splinter in their finger. And now it's like gotten infected and become this horrible thing and their finger needs to be amputated. Okay, we could have fixed this so easy, so long ago with minimal pain, minimal sessions. And now I just got to dig through the years of hurt to go through to get to one underlying thing. Let me give y'all a case example. If a couple is dating and one person in their mind, because it's never really get talked about, feels like this particular sexual act shouldn't be done until after we're married, but it never gets talked about. So now they're dating and their partner tries that sexual act and they just say no. Or they move them away or move their hands away or move their head away, whatever. So now that person's like, oh, okay, okay, apparently this is something we can't do. I don't know what we can do. Never gets talked about. Fast forward, they're in my office 10 years later. And I'm like, so why doesn't this happen? Well, I don't know. They don't like it. What do you mean I don't like that? Wherever did you get that? Well, I tried it one time and you pushed me away. You like threw me off the bed. Like, that didn't happen, but sometimes it feels that dramatic. And they're like, wait, what? We could have been doing this the whole time? I had no idea. I had no idea that. Well, why would you, like, all of that? And so 10 years of feeling rejected in this area of 10 years, and that's just like a made up example, but there really are couples walking around with these like silent, invisible pains because there never was a conversation that was had. Oh, go Jessica.
So I think to kind of sum up what you're talking about, clarity. It is costing you clarity, like being able to see clearly what is going on with you, with your partner. one of the other things that this conversation also, there's a moment in Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert where she's in Indonesia, and the woman that in Bali that she's talking to, she feels her knees, and she's like, "You haven't had sex in a while, have you?" And she's like, "How could you possibly know that?" And it's like, "I can tell by your joints. Like there are hormones that are released during sex that affects the rest of your body." And that was the thing that I was thinking is another cost that we don't think about. Not only the cost of not getting those hormones when sex is had, but also thinking about all of the hormones or things that are building up because they're not getting released in other ways. So kind of like what Amanda had said about it's leaking out into other parts of your life. This could also be showing up in a psychosomatic way in that your body is reflecting the lack of use. Like again, with my client that was talking about vaginal atrophy, if we don't use it, there is some loss associated.
Yeah. I think even that, like the several research studies are like people who have sex have a longer, healthier, more active life in general. And so you're not coming to see us to adjust a problem. It's costing you some years off your life. How about that for a big one? Yeah. So it's just, and what I want you guys to take away is, and it doesn't have to cost you any of this. It doesn't. Like a couple of conversations. This doesn't happen often. Please don't think that this happens often. But I had one client, one session, and they were like, oh, clarity, good to go. I've had another client, I promise y'all this is not the norm. These are the extreme cases. 2 sessions. Like the second session was like, I think y'all are good. Are y'all good? Yeah, we're good. Okay, let's get some relapse prevention conversations going on. And then I think y'all are good. Because it was just that clarity. It was that understanding. It was that they were not saying things out loud that need to be said out loud. We got them said out loud. They're good. That also now sets the precedence for them to have better conversations about it in the future. Like, oh, I didn't know we could talk about that. Well, I didn't know you wanted to talk about that. Okay, we can talk about it. Okay, now we're talking about it. It's just that simple. Even if you don't see us and you talk to us on the phone and we refer one book to you that gets you thinking about it differently. Because I think that is what happens the most, and I'm talking too much, so I'm going to give you guys back the floor in a minute, is that it's like we don't know what we don't know about sex. And because we don't talk about it a lot out loud, we're just stuck in our little own minds with random pieces of information that we picked up from church and this movie and this person's conversation. And this is what I think I saw on that TV show one time. And it all coalesces, if that's the word, in our brains to this like hot mess. Hot mess. And then you get with a partner and y'all don't talk about it either. And so sex just happens in the dark. And then something happens or doesn't happen. And now we're hurt. And now I always want my couples to come together as partners to fix a common problem as opposed to enemies. You're not giving me something I want. Well, you're trying to take something from me that I don't want to give. And then it becomes very adversarial. And so if we can just move to work to get our clients working in partnership together and moving forward to fix the problem, that right there, like how many more peaceful nights will you have? Like, oh gosh. And I love those clients when it's not even about the sex. It was the communication around the sex. We fixed the communication. They're good. Like they're so good. So, okay. Who wants to jump in? All right. Nobody has nothing to say?
Oh, well, I was trying to give space for everyone else.
Wait, before you say that, I want to say, Amanda, I love your number one dad cup.
Oh, maybe I'm a number one dom daddy. We don't know.
Ooh.
Thank you. No, it's time to do dishes at my house. No, thank you. I was trying to jump in there with something about clarity that just kept coming up. And, we're often we step in to help people salvage or advance their relationships. But I think clarity can go the other way too of, coming to sex therapy can clarify sometimes we might need a different partner to enter our relationship, like in a poly situation, or maybe to find a way that sex with someone else might work for us, like in a new relationship. So I don't want people, I always like to keep that open. Like, yes,
Yeah.
we are in the business of like helping people improve their relationships, but we also have a space for clarity for folks that if sex isn't working, other stuff might not be working too.
Right.
So I just want to remind people that it can be a space to really
Yeah.
open like what's
Yeah.
not working and maybe ways we can bring in other things that work or other people that work.
So it could be costing you a future relationship, a future
It
great.
could be. That's, when
Yeah.
Taj said, orgasms and Jessica said clarity, and I'm like, we might be getting clarity about orgasms we could have with somebody else or
Mm-hmm.
with
Mm-hmm.
somebody's else that, if we aren't willing to talk about it, I mean, I look to, adults in my relation, like in my childhood who could have had that conversation 20 years before they terminated a
Yeah.
relationship and maybe had a whole lifetime of positive
Mm-hmm.
relationships like that came after that. So, I think that's other clarity we can get from these
No, that's so
conversations.
good. I was having a conversation with another therapist this week because she was wondering, she was really feeling like this couple like had did all of the things and they needed permission. They just needed permission to let it go,
Yeah.
you know? And, sitting with that when like we all have master's degrees and we've read all of the books and we've taken all of the workshops to keep this couple together. And so to sit in that juxtaposition of, man, I think I need y'all to give y'all permission to separate. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's really hard. And I love that she was able to do it because, like, it goes against like all of our training.
Yeah, I was just doing a training, Natalie, that you recommended to me, and like they had a section on like relation termination, and I kept having to pause it and like take a deep breath, like just like
Like,
thinking about myself in that position. But it's part of what we do sometimes.
yeah,
So I think it's important for folks out there to hear that too, that
no, I
we can
think
hold both
so. When I
spaces.
was, I had a case, y'all, that I totally messed up as a brand new therapist. And I may not want to go back and redo that moment. But this lady was coming to me and she was like, I don't want to have sex. And I don't want you to make me want to have sex. And so I was such a new therapist. I was like, I don't know why you're here then. I'm a sex therapist. I get people to have sex. Like I don't know how why you're here. I can't help you. Like I don't know who you need to find, but it can't be me. I feel like you're coming in here and like essentially telling me not to talk and not to do anything that I've trained to do. And so I like let her go as a client because I didn't know. Now, God, I would do such great work with her because now I would see that she really, maybe she really didn't want to have sex, but she wanted to have a conversation about it. Like that part of her didn't want to, but there was a part of her that was like, my life isn't working. Let me have a conversation about this to figure out what we need to do differently.
Ah,
I know, right? Like I was like, because like I ended the therapeutic relationship like before I saw my supervisor, and they were like, "You did what? Why would you?" I didn't know. And so now it was so know how to help her, but I think there are some people that maybe having sex isn't a good fit for you right now in your life for whatever reason, and being okay with that. And so, what it's costing you by not coming to talk to us is peace, is that woosah feeling of relief, that feeling that you don't have to keep trying to put a square peg into a round hole when it's just simply not fitting. You know, I have had a couple of clients where they're just like, yeah, but the more we talk about this, the more I realize I really don't want it. I want this different thing. Okay, okay. So let's get that for you so that you're living your best life. And so you are costing yourself stagnation by not like coming and just being open to have the conversation. And I'm a better therapist now. I can have the conversation. I was like, I don't know how to help you. But now I know, like, it's about having the conversation to really see where you are and what's going and giving you the space to really explore. So, okay, what's coming up for you guys on that?
Well, I just want to say, you said a word that I love to say in session all the time, and that word is permission. And that just yelled at me because that's usually the baseline or like the foundation that I've seen is like the foundation of almost all of my sex therapy clients. It's just like you need permission to either explore this or have that conversation or to break up, like you said. Like
Yeah.
I'm so glad you validated that for me as a therapist because I definitely was like, I don't think y'all need to be together to a client before, and I felt bad, like because it goes against
All of
all of
our
our
training,
training.
right? Everything, it's like
But
everything that we paid thousands of dollars to be
yes,
able to do.
but let me tell you why I said that. Because my clients said that sex felt abusive.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah,
And of course there were other extenuating circumstances, but even though they both were consenting, it felt abusive for them. And there
yeah,
was no pleasure. And I was like, why are we here? You're subjecting yourself to like the abuse trigger.
yeah.
Why?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't think now is a good time for y'all to be in a relationship, and that's okay.
Right.
That's okay. Y'all got to work on y'all individual stuff and then maybe come back or
Yeah. Yeah.
find somebody else because this
Right.
ain't it.
I so along the same lines, this isn't funny. I'm so sorry I'm laughing. But I've had two couples over the years where one partner had cancer.
Mm.
And so, but they were also trying to fix the relationship because it was under stress and they just figured they would start in the sex area. And so giving them permission not to work on sex right now. Okay. You're fighting for your life. This is basically Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This is not the time. And so, yeah, those things feel weird, but also helping our clients prioritize, I think, is something that we can do to help them. So, if you're sick, you got a sick kid. If the world is on fire, then maybe we just got to give you permission to sit still for a minute, you know. Or we can come up with some things that you can do while you sit still for a minute until we can get back around to that in the relationship. Like if you legitimately aren't liking your partner right now, that's time for us to work on you guys' sex life. Let's work on communication first and do all of those things. But by not coming to us, by not talking to us, is costing you all of these things. At the basic level, I don't think any of us have said the word joy yet, but it's costing you some joy.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, like just don't wait. I feel so bad when couples come in and it's been 6 years and it's such a simple problem. Like, oh, you just did it. Why are you thinking that way? Oh, I don't know why I'm thinking that way. Can we think about something different? Here's an alternative thought. Okay, we're good. Y'all are off to the races. Like it's coming in. So, okay, what else do y'all want to say? Kind of closing you down, but go ahead.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to just speak to kind of what you had talked about at the very, very beginning, in that when you see a large range of prices for sex therapists, this does not mean, well, I'm only paying $75 and seeing an intern, so this is not as good as the 350. Like, I can see how that, and there's a lot of monetary and capitalistic mindset behind that. But when you're working with interns, they are guided by professionals that get $350 a session. And so, like, being understanding that they are in a period where they're learning more, they're hungry and consuming more information, they are more open to ideas, they're more open to feedback. They are learning and exploring. And so you may be getting something for that you wouldn't get from somebody that's 350, that's in their niche, and this is what they do, and this is how they do it, and this is the structure that works. And if you're not ready to do it, well, then go find someone else. So I think that there is benefit for that, and I understand that $75 still can feel like a lot right now when eggs and gas and world on fire. So like understanding that this is an investment. Whatever investment you can give, this is an investment in yourself and your life and moving forward and into your sex life that can give you years, time, joy, all of the things that we had talked about. This is what you're paying for in addition to the experience and the education. Like, so there's a lot. Like, you're getting a lot for that.
I think so. And a wonderful thing about interns is they're closer to the research and their training. And so I was just telling somebody, like, yeah, I have no idea what the latest research is. I left school a long time ago. Like, I just don't know. Is the divorce rate still 50%? Who knows? It was that's what it was when I was in school 15 years ago. And so that's so true. So thank you, Amanda, for saying that. Okay.
Oh, that was Jessica.
I'm sorry. Amanda is the intern right now. All right, Amanda, anything that you would like to add?
Thanks for the shout out, Jessica. I am an intern. I love, I think Taj, you mentioned it. It might have been somebody else. Joy. Embrace joy. It is Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
With a partner, without a partner, like, find your joy. These next couple of days, find love yourself, and just be in your joy. Like, that's my wish for everyone today.
Yeah. All right, Taj.
They said such good ones. They all were so good. I really just second everything that everyone has said. And I just encourage everyone to, I know what I can say that's different. What I tell a lot of people when I get asked, like, what is sex therapy? Why are you a sex therapist? What is this thing that you're doing? I don't understand.
Right.
It's the first thing I always say is sex therapy is not sexy. And it usually, sex, because it's such a vulnerable space, it will expose other areas in which you need healing. And so I find that as a sex therapist, I'm all the way at the root, and we gon' dig ourselves on out of here. Yeah. So when I break it down like that, it usually relaxes the people that are focused on the sex part, and it becomes uncomfortable. Right. So it kind of just like, oh, so you're actually talking about anxiety? Yes. You're talking about communication? Yes. We're talking about all the things. And you'll find that when we deal with all those things, your sex life just may improve. And so I just wanted to put that little tidbit out there. It's not just sex all day. It's we deal with a lot. Yeah. We deal with everything.
That was so brilliant. That was so brilliant. When I talk to people about it, I say we deal with people's most private pain. Yeah. And so to sum up, if any of you guys out there in the internet world within the sound of my voice, if you're feeling any pain around a sexual issue, a desire issue, arousal issue, attraction issue, you don't have to pay that price anymore. Pay a different price and come talk to us, because we're here to help and we're here to listen. And the other thing I want to say is all my interns, all y'all have been my intern, and all of you guys have brought a wealth of information and knowledge. And so I was just thinking about my practice compared to another practice, and she has like 20 interns, and they're just like fabulous, but all young and all like new to the field and everything. And I was like, I just can't do that. I like that all my interns have been seasoned and have had like life experience to add to it. And so none of my interns, I think, have started from ground zero. It's like we happened to come along the path, and I was able to be with them as they continue to grow for like this path of their life. And so all of my people are brilliant. Like I'll listen to all of you guys talk all day long. I really could, but we have to go now. So I'm going to wish you guys a very happy Valentine's Day, and wait for the candy to go on sale tomorrow, and then go buy it. All right. Have a great day.
Bye.